Hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to start a new lesson, and the name of our lesson is Transportation, the Circulatory System. It is one of the important systems in our body. We have many different systems to perform or to carry out different life processes. Among those systems, it is one of the important systems which helps in the transportation. As the name itself indicates that it helps in the transport. So in what kind of transport it helps? Let's see. In our last lessons, we have studied that nutrition and the respiration are the two important processes which carry out in the human body in order to produce energy, oxygen, nutrients and other materials in our body. So when we have food, we get glucose and other nutrients from the food. And this glucose and nutrients and other substances are going to be available in our digestive system. So now from this digestive system, these nutrients and glucose needs to be supplied to the other various cells of our human body. Whereas in the process respiration, the oxygen is present in the alveoli of the lungs, that is we can say in the respiratory system. This oxygen has to be supplied to the different body cells or to the different body tissues. And even water should also be supplied to the different body tissues. So now these three things, the glucose, nutrients and other materials, oxygen and water should be supplied to the various cells of the human body, and this transport is going to be achieved through transport system. This transport system is also called as circulatory system. When we observe the cells, we know that many activities are going on in the cells. So during respiration, we have learned in the last chapter that during respiration, energy is produced. Along with this energy, carbon dioxide gas and the water materials are going to be produced in the human body. So now this energy is going to be used up by the human body. When some activities are going to take place in the human body, they used up this energy. Now this carbon dioxide and urea are the waste materials which are present in our body. These materials needs to be sent out of our body. If these materials are going to accumulate for longer period in our body, then there were many effects can be seen in the human body. So the carbon dioxide is eliminated or it sends out of the body when we exhale or during exhalation process. And the waste material urea, which is present in every body tissues, has to be collected and has to be supplied to the excretory organs. So the supply of this urea to the excretory system, that is to the kidneys, is going to take place through this transport system or through the circulatory organs. So the human circulatory system helps in generation of the power. It helps to transport all the nutrients and other systems to the various cells of our body, and it also helps in sending the waste material out of our body. Now let us discuss about human circulatory system. The human circulatory system consists of the heart, blood vessels and the blood. First we are going to study about the heart. The heart is a very important organ which is present in the human body and which has to work throughout the life. So if it stops working or if it stops beating, then the life ends there, because the supply of nutrients, energy and oxygen is taking place through the circulatory system. So if the supply of oxygen, nutrients and other materials stop, then the heartbeat stops. So the heart is a very important organ. Let us see where the heart is located. Location of the heart. So when you observe the structure of the lungs, now we know that the heart is located in between the lungs, which is slightly towards the left lung, and it is protected by these lungs. When we talk about the size of the heart, then we can say that the size of the heart of a person will be the size of his fist. So when you look at the size of your fist, you can imagine or you can be equate the size with your heart. Next is the heart is a pear-shaped organ. It has a broad upper portion and narrow lower end, and the heart is protected by the lungs as well as it is protected by the rib cage. Rib cage is made up of ribs and muscles. So along with the protection of the lungs, it also has the external protection by this rib cage that is made up of ribs and muscles. Along with these protections, they are more protected by the two membranes called pericardial membranes. The pericardial membrane is of two types: outer pericardial membrane and inner pericardial membrane. And in between these two membranes, we find a liquid or a fluid present in between these two membranes, and this fluid is known as pericardial fluid. The pericardial fluid absorbs the shocks and gives protection against the shocks. It absorbs shocks as well as the physical injuries and gives protection to the heart. Now we will study about the internal structure of the heart. So the heart is a very complicated organ. When we see its internal structure, the heart comprises of 4 rooms that are called chambers. These 4 rooms are divided into 2 types. This one is called as atria, and below this atria, the 2 chambers which are present are called as ventricles. The atria is of 2 types. This is called as left atria. This one is right atria. Atria is also known as auricle. This part is our left ventricle and this one is right ventricle. So in this way, the heart shows the 4 chambers: left atria, right ventricle and left ventricle. And when we observe, the atria are smaller when compared to the ventricles, and the ventricles are thick walled whereas the atria are thin walled. And we can also observe many blood vessels are connected towards the atria. So some blood vessels are called as arteries and some blood vessels are called as veins. Now the 2 major tasks which is played by the heart are: the first is to collect the pure blood. Pure blood is also known as oxygenated blood because the pure blood is the blood which is rich in oxygen. The blood in which the oxygen is present and there should not be any carbon dioxide in this type of blood. So the blood in which the oxygen is present and carbon dioxide is absent, this type of blood can be termed as oxygenated blood. So the first task or the first function of the blood is to collect the pure blood. The next major task of the heart is pumping this oxygenated blood to the different body tissues or to the various cells of the human body, and at the same time it also pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. Deoxygenated blood is the blood in which the oxygen is not present. It is opposite to the oxygenated blood. So now let us talk about the arteries and veins present in the internal structure of the heart. So this ring-like structure is named as systemic aorta. It is a very big artery which carries the oxygenated blood and transport it to the other body tissues of the human body. This one is called as superior vena cava. Superior vena cava helps to bring the deoxygenated blood from our head, and this one is called as inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava helps to bring the deoxygenated blood from the other body parts. These are called as pulmonary veins, and these pulmonary veins carry the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart, and these are called as pulmonary artery. The function of the pulmonary arteries is opposite to the function of the pulmonary vein, because as the pulmonary vein carries the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart, the pulmonary arteries carry the deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs for oxygenation. All these blood vessels perform the different functions to carry out the blood circulation. We can see that between the atria and ventricles some valves are present. So the valves which are present between the left atria and left ventricle are called as bicuspid valves, whereas the valves which are present in between the right atria and right ventricle are called as tricuspid valves. So in this way we can see that right side of the heart contains deoxygenated blood, whereas the left side of the heart contains oxygenated blood, and the valves which are present in between the atria and ventricle allows the blood to flow only in one direction. It inhibits or stops the backflow of the blood from ventricle to atria. It only allows the blood to flow from atria to ventricle. So now let us see how the blood circulation, or how the scientists came to know about the blood circulation. So the scientist named Girolamo Fabrici, he observed some blood vessels in the legs of the human, and in these blood vessels he also described about some valves which are present in the blood vessels, and he saw that when the blood flows in one direction, these valves open and allow the blood to flow in that direction, whereas when blood flows or try to flows in the opposite direction, these valves closes and it inhibits or it stops the flow of the blood in an opposite direction. So in his researches, he explained us about the two things in the blood circulation. The first one is valves in the blood vessels. He said that the valves are present in the blood vessels, and the second thing is blood always flows in one direction. He could not find any conclusions, and he could not find the total blood circulation. So this research is taken up by his student named William Harvey. William Harvey is known for the discovery of blood circulation, and he conducted several studies. He also dissected the heart of the dead persons to observe and to see the internal structure of heart. So while observing the internal structure of the human heart, he saw that the valves which are present in the blood vessels of the human leg are also present in the heart, which is in between the atria and ventricle. So these valves, when the blood enters into the atria, these valves helps the blood to flow into the ventricles, but it stops the backflow of the blood from ventricles to atria. So he also explained that the valves which are observed in the human legs, likewise the similar valves are also observed in the human heart, which is present and which allows the blood to flow in one direction or in a specific manner. So the blood from the ventricles then cannot move to the atria. It moves to the pulmonary arteries and then to the lungs. So now William Harvey conducted some experiments. He had selected a person with a good muscle tone and with less fat under the skin, because in such persons when they tighten up their muscles, we can clearly observe the veins. After selecting a person, he tied a rope or tourniquet on his hand. Then he asked a person to tighten up his wrist. Then he observed the network of the veins and also observed that the blockage of the blood occurs towards the side of the heart. So by this experiment, he came to know that the veins are responsible to carry the blood towards the heart. Then he conducted another experiment. In this experiment, he did not block the veins, but he blocked the arteries. By blocking the arteries, he observed that the blocking of the blood occurs towards one side of the heart, whereas on the other hand, the blood flows to the other various parts of the body. So by this, he concluded that the veins are responsible to carry the blood towards the heart, and the arteries are responsible to carry the blood to the various parts of the human body. William Harvey estimated that how much amount of blood is circulated. So he said that in 1 hour of time, 3 times of a body weight of a person, that much amount of the blood is circulated in the human body. Practically, it is not possible to produce that much amount of blood, but he said that the blood is not totally used up or consumed by the body, it is recycled. So William Harvey could not explain about how the blood is recycled. He could not explain. So later in the year 1661, the scientist named Marcello Malfighi, he observed thin blood vessels which are called as capillaries under the skin of bats. When we observe the bats under the light, we can clearly see some thin blood vessels under its skin, and these blood vessels are known as capillaries. So the capillaries are also present in the human body, which helps in recycling of the blood. It is used to recycle the blood in the human body. Now we are going to discuss about cardiac cycle. Cardiac cycle is a mechanism which shows how the blood flows in the human body. So let's see how the mechanism of the blood flow occurs in the human body. The human body has a circulatory organ called heart, which works throughout the life. The heart beats and pumps and collect the blood. So the pumping and collection of the blood is called as cardiac cycle. So how the pumping and collection of the blood occurs through the circulatory system, let's see. So here the first step of the cardiac cycle is joint diastole. Joint diastole is nothing but complete relaxation of all the four chambers. It is not possible, but we are imagining to understand the mechanism of the blood circulation, that all the four chambers are in relaxation, and that condition is known as joint diastole. The superior vena cava, as I have already explained in the internal structure of heart, superior vena cava collects the deoxygenated blood from the heart, and inferior vena cava collects the deoxygenated blood from the other various body tissues. This deoxygenated blood is carried to the right atrium. When the right atrium contracts, the deoxygenated blood from these blood vessels passes to right atrium. Then after that, the right ventricle contraction, when the blood moves to the right atrium, and when the right ventricle contracts, this blood supplies to the right ventricle when the valve named tricuspid opens. Because of the valve present in between the atrium and ventricle, the black flow of the blood from ventricle to atria do not takes place. So the blood which reaches the right ventricle, it passes or supplies to the pulmonary arteries. Now these pulmonary arteries are the blood vessels which helps to take this deoxygenated blood to the lungs. When this deoxygenated blood passes to the lungs, we know that alveoli in the lungs contain a large amount of the oxygen. So when the deoxygenated blood reaches the lungs, it becomes oxygenated when combined with the oxygen. So the blood, when combined with the oxygen, it becomes oxygenated blood. Now this oxygenated blood is carried by these pulmonary veins to the heart. This oxygenated blood is carried by the pulmonary veins, and it on contraction of the left atrium, it reaches to the left atrium. Then the left ventricle contracts. On the contraction of the left ventricle, this bicuspid valve opens and the blood enters into the left ventricle. As soon as the oxygenated blood enters into the left ventricle, this valve shuts or this valve closes in order to stop the backflow of the blood from left ventricle to left atrium. So after the oxygenated blood reaches from the left atrium to the left ventricle, it takes or it carries by the systemic aorta. This blood vessels carry the oxygenated blood from the left ventricle, and it supplies that oxygenated blood to all the other body tissues of the human body. So now after taking the oxygenated blood by the various tissues of the body, the thin blood vessels which are present in our body are called as capillaries. So in the systemic capillaries, the blood again loses oxygen and it adds up the carbon dioxide into it. So now this oxygenated blood again converted into, or it again becomes deoxygenated blood in the capillaries. So here the capillaries are helping in recycling of the blood. When it becomes deoxygenated, again it takes up to the lungs for oxygenation. So in this way the cardiac cycle occurs. Now I would like to explain this cardiac cycle in Hindi. So cardiac cycle जो है वो हार्ट में होता है, जिसमें फर्स्ट स्टेप है जॉइंट डायास्टोल. जॉइंट डायास्टोल हम बोलते हैं कि ये जो चार चेंबर्स पढ़े हैं हम, अट्रिया एंड वेंट्रिकल, वो जब रिलैक्स वे में रहेंगे तब वो वाली कंडीशन को हम बोलेंगे जॉइंट डायास्टोल. लेकिन ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं होता. जब अट्रिया रिलैक्स रहते हैं तब वेंट्रिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता, और जब वेंट्रिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होगा तब अट्रिया रिलैक्स रहेगी. लेकिन वैसी इमेजिनेशन को हम बोलेंगे जॉइंट डायास्टोल. सो जब अट्रिया में ब्लड पास होगा, राइट अट्रियम में ब्लड, हमारे हेड में से ब्लड सुपीरियर वेना केवा लेगा और राइट अट्रियम को देगा. देन इंफीरियर वेना केवा दूसरे बॉडी पार्ट्स में से डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड, जो इम्प्योर ब्लड है, जो जिसमें ऑक्सीजन नहीं है, वो वाले ब्लड को इंफीरियर वेना केवा लेगा और राइट अट्रियम को देगा. फिर राइट अट्रियम में जब ब्लड रहेगा, उसके बाद में फिर राइट वेंट्रिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होगा जब राइट अट्रियम रिलैक्स होगा. फिर ये राइट अट्रियम में से ये डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड राइट वेंट्रिकल में जाएगा जब ये वाल्व ओपन होगा. ये वाल्व तभी ओपन होगा जब राइट वेंट्रिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होगा. राइट वेंट्रिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होने के बाद में ये वाल्व ओपन होगा और डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड राइट अट्रियम में से राइट वेंट्रिकल में चला जाएगा। जैसे ही ये डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड राइट वेंट्रिकल में जाएगा, ये वाल्व बंद हो जाएगा ताकि राइट वेंट्रिकल में से राइट एट्रियम में फिर से ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में ब्लड फ्लो ना हो। उसके बाद में फिर राइट वेंट्रिकल से पल्मोनरी आर्टरीज वो ब्लड को ले लेंगे और ये पल्मोनरी आर्टरीज ब्लड को लंग्स तक पहुंचाएंगे। लंग्स में ये डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड, जिसके अंदर ऑक्सीजन नहीं है, तो लंग्स हमारे ब्लड को ऑक्सीजन देगा और उसे ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड बनाएगा। जब ब्लड ऑक्सीजनेट हो जाएगा तब पल्मोनरी वेन्स वो ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड को लेकर हमारे हार्ट तक पहुंचाएंगे। ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड जब लेफ्ट एट्रियम में आएगा और जब लेफ्ट एट्रियम रिलैक्स होगा तब लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होगा, और जब लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होगा तो ये बाइकस्पेड वाल्व ओपन होगा। जैसे ही ये वाल्व ओपन होगा तो ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल को सप्लाई होगा और फिर ये वाल्व बंद हो जाएगा। लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में से ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड सिस्टमिक एओर्टा के पास आएगा। सिस्टमिक एओर्टा एक ब्लड वेसल है और ये ब्लड वेसल्स क्या ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड को हमारे पूरे बॉडी में पहुंचाएंगे। सो ऐसे वाले सप्लाई को हम बोलेंगे कि कार्डियक साइकिल, जिसमें डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड ऑक्सीजनेट हो रहा, देन ये ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड हमारी सारी बॉडी में सप्लाई किया जा रहा। उसके बाद में फिर जब कैपिलरीज में ब्लड पहुंच रहा तो अगेन इट बिकम्स डीऑक्सीजनेटेड। So in this way the cardiac cycle occurs. For one cardiac cycle it takes 0.8 second of time. So when the heart beats we can hear a sound, and that sound is produced by the movement of the valves. The sound is called as lub dub. Lub is a sound which is more louder than the dub because lub is made when the ventricles contract and valves when closes after the contraction of ventricle. So after the contraction of the ventricles, the valves when closes, the lub sound is made, which is more louder. Whereas when the left atrium relaxes, the valve opens, and when the valve opens, the dub sound is made. Lub is made during the closing of the valves, and dub is made during the opening of the valves. The valve closes when the ventricles contract, and the valve closes when the ventricles contract, and the valves open when the atria is in relaxed condition. So in this way heartbeat lub dub sound is made. The flow is not continuous, it takes some jerks, it goes and stops because the relaxation and the contraction occurs in the heart, therefore the flow is not continuous. It has some jerks, it go and it stops. Now we will study about the two types of circulation, that are single circulation and double circulation. In human body, the double circulation occurs because the blood flows through the heart twice, means 2 times. The blood flows through the heart 2 times in the human body, whereas in some animals like fish, the blood flows through the heart only once. So it is called as single circulation. The blood from the heart is collected or is pumped to the body parts after the oxygenation occurs in the gills. So here the blood flows through the heart only once, therefore it is called as single circulation. Whereas when we see the blood circulation in the human body, the heart pumped the deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. Then after the oxygenation carried out in the lungs, the oxygenated blood is again collected by the heart, and this collected oxygenated blood is transferred to the other body parts. And as I said you that systemic capillaries of the body parts, when the blood reaches the systemic capillaries of the body part, it loses the oxygen and it becomes the deoxygenated. So this deoxygenated blood which is present in the body parts is collected by the heart again, and then it is pumped for the oxygen. So in this way the circulation occurs by the 2 circuits. The double circulation shows how the blood flows through the heart twice. Therefore it is called as double circulation. So in the next class we are going to discuss about the rest topics of the lesson transportation, the circulatory system.